Welcome back to lesson 5 of the Python programming course. So in this lesson, we're going to explore the concept of loops. So in programming, loops allow you to use just one command to repeat the same process multiple times. So we could have a set, one line or multiple lines of code that will repeat over and over until we want it to stop. Now, this process of repeating over and over, you will often hear me throughout this course and through my teaching refer to this as iteration. So our loops happen in iterations. The first time it runs, it's the first iteration. And we have our next one, and it will keep going until it's finished. Now, there are two types of loops that we're going to be learning about today. The first one being a for loop, and the second one being a while loop. We're going to look at the for loop first. So the for loop is used when we know in advance how many times we want to repeat our code. And we're just going to look at an example of this. So we're going to put this code here into Tony. So we're going to say for I in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need our colon at the end. And if we put our colon in, we hit enter, the next line should automatically be indented for us. And I'm just going to say repeat this line, close off the bracket, and I'm just going to run this, and we'll notice we repeat this line 4 times. Now, what is this code actually doing? So first of all, let's look at the first line. So the first line, we start off with the keyword for. So for is how we declare our for loop. Now, this second value, this is just a variable that just exists within the loop, and this is what we iterate on. So this value changes each time the for loop runs. Now, in this case, we say in. So in means this is the thing that we're going to iterate through. It needs to be a set of something. So in this case, we've given it a set of integers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's 4 things it's going to repeat through, and then it's going to be done. And this I value will change to whatever this value is in order each time it runs. And when it's finished all 4, this loop will end and it will continue on with the code. So just to demonstrate this, we're going to add a new line at the end of our code, and we're going to say print I'm done now. So we know our code's done. What we're also going to do is we're just going to change what's in this print value on the second line. We're going to change it from printing a message just to print back I. So whatever's stored in this variable or value I. And if I run this now, you'll see it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm done now. And that's because we're telling it the first time it runs, it should be equal to 1. The next time it runs, it should be equal to 2. The next time it runs, it should be equal to 3. And the 4th time it runs, it should be equal to 4. And after that, there's nothing more to run through, so the code just continues on. Now, we can actually use different values here as well. So I'm going to use 4 different strings. I'm using the string hello and then 1, 2, 3. And if I run this, you'll see, whoop, I did not put a comma between 2 and 3. So I'll run this. So if I run this, you'll see it says hello on the first line, then 1, then 2, then 3. So our for loop can iterate through different things. Now, there's one function that works really well with a for loop because it returns a sequence of numbers, and that is called the range function. So if I said range 10, it's going to return the numbers, or 10 digits, but it's going to return from 0 counting up 10 times. So from 0 to 9. Because if we start counting at 0, 10 digits higher is 9, not 10, right? And if I print this function, you can see it counts from 0 to 9 and says I'm done now. So we're finished counting. Now, the next type of loop we're going to look at is the while loop. So the while loop works a little bit differently. So as I mentioned before, with the for loop, we know prior the number of times we want to loop something, or we give the computer some data, a set of data, and there's only so much data that we can give it. So if we give it a list of words, it's going to go through the for loop for each word, and once it gets to the end, it's going to stop. But sometimes we don't know when our loop is supposed to stop. So this is where a while loop can be very useful. So a while loop will keep repeating until a condition you set is no longer true. So it continues to iterate until that condition is no longer true. Remember, computers can only think in true or false. So our while statement must either be true or false. Let's just copy down this code to start off with. So count equals 0, while count is less than 5, print some text to repeat, and then count equals count plus 1. All right, so let's break down what we've got here in this line of code. Well, first of all, let's run it and just see what happens. So it says some text to repeat, and it says it 5 times. So this is looping through 5 times. And this will make more sense after I've gone through it. So first of all, the first line, we've just declared a variable, and this variable is called count, and we've set it to the integer value 0. Quite simple. We know how variables work. Now, what we're doing is we've said the keyword while this time, right? And it's purple, so we know it's some sort of built-in function or feature of Python. In this case, it's a while loop. So after we say the keyword while, we have to say, what are we checking? While what is true? Because remember, computers only work in true or false. So we're saying while the value count is less than 5, and we know that 0 is less than 5, so we know that this is going to run at least once when we start our code, print the message some text to repeat. So it's going to print some text to repeat. And then this next line, we're actually setting count to count plus 1. Now, if I didn't have this line here, this loop would go forever because our count value is never changing. And you can see it's just running and running. So I'm going to have to hit this stop button to actually stop it from running. So this second line is really important. And notice that this line is also indented because this should happen within the loop. If this line wasn't indented, it would run forever because we'd never reach this line. This is going to keep looping for infinity because this value is never changing. But now, when I run it, it only runs 5 times because the next time we run it, count's no longer equal to 0. It's equal to 1 because we've told it to be equal to whatever the count value was the first time it runs is 0, and then we're going to add 1 to it. So now it's 1. The next time it runs, it's 1. So count is 1 plus 1 is 2. This time it runs, it's 2. So count is 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's just repeating this process over and over. We could go up by 2s if we wanted, right? So now it'll only print 3 times because we go from 0 to 2 to 4, and then 6 is not less than 5. Now, there is another trick we can do here, and that is the shorthand. So instead of saying count equals count, we can say count plus equals 1. And what plus equals means is add this value to itself. So now it's going to go up by 1. And it does the same thing as saying count equals count plus 1. It's just a little shorthand or a shortcut instead of typing out the whole word. Now, one other thing that's interesting about while loops is we can count backwards, right? We can start at 5, and if we're counting downwards, we're going to count down until we reach 0, right? But now, we don't want to say count equals plus equals 1. We want to say minus equals 1, right? Because now it's counting down. And I'm actually going to change this value to -5, so it's going to count 10 times, because you couldn't actually tell the code changed. You can see here, it's run 10 times now. And what I might even do is I'm just going to print out count here. So we're going to print out what that variable's at. So it starts at 5 and it goes all the way down to -4. Because remember, -5 is greater than -5. If we want it to show the -5 as well, we'd want to say greater than or equal to. So it'll run even for that final value there. So this while loop is quite powerful. We can count up, we can count down, we can count in doubles. We can also check different conditions. So in more advanced coding applications, we could have a condition that says while the player is pushing the left arrow, move the character on the screen. In Python, we really don't need to do anything that complex, but while loops are very powerful and are a key programming concept, so it's important you understand how they work. Now, with all that, you should be able to work on today's task and challenge task. I will leave you to it.